Hey guys, this is Orsi and this is going to be my 1 month with the Hidden Realm Tarot, which was an interesting one. I had this deck, I bought this deck when I was starting to read a lot of fairy stories, as in Fae, Holy Black, and which one was the one that Maggie Steepwater, who created, the Raven's Prophecy. That felt like a Fae story for me as well. So I bought this deck back then specifically with the intention that this would be my Fae deck. It still feels Fae, like honestly, it is. So it's not like a revolutionary experience to realize that, but I didn't really know what to expect from the deck, how to work with it, so that's why I was like, okay, I need to include it in the 12 decks for 12 months experience, because I kept putting off using this deck because I felt like I don't know enough about Fae, I don't have a connection with the energy as much as I want to, so like this is too much of a special deck to just start using it, which is stupid. I know. So, what I did was, as the usual, I pulled a card a day. I didn't use an oracle. It's interesting that at the beginning I was using more the combination of cards, but then it kind of turned into something like I want the card to be on the table all alone, so my energy and my focus can be on it, not on the combination of the different decks, which is fun. I love doing it, but getting to know a deck is easier if it's if it stands on its own. So just one card a day, and then what I was doing is checking the description, which you can see. There's not illustrated, a black and white image of each card, which is nice, so you can just carry around the book and study the cards even if you don't have the deck with you. And there's some description of the card, which sometimes honestly it's a great guidebook, but sometimes I didn't see the things that the cards were mentioning. I can't exactly remember right now which card that was recently before I stopped working with it. I remember that there was a mountain in the behind the person, and the description was something like you can see the symbols moving around in the stone with power or something like that. But when I looked at that card, I didn't see anything like that. I wasn't even really paying attention to the symbols, so I'm like, oh, okay. Which is, like, it's good to have the description so you can actually shift your focus. Maybe it was the magician, like the snake and everything. And maybe it was like that for the magician. I just still don't like the porn stash. Like, that's the only thing that I wish that would be gone. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it was the magician. Let me check the rest of the cards quickly. Or maybe it was the King of Swords, something like this. See, where there's something in the background, but you don't necessarily pay any attention to it. Okay, I'm not gonna leave him on top because his mustache bothers me. But even if I didn't see what the description mentioned in the card, it gave me, something new to work with. So I really do appreciate that. It's good for, like normal readings, obviously. But what I realized is that I will need much more time to work with this deck to fully have the potential of it, and not just use it as a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, because I can do it right now and just pull like 3 cards and be like the King of Cups. Let's do whatever, like the Empress and the King of Cups, they are looking each other away from each other, which is interesting. and just use them, what I know about the Empress, you know, and what I know about the King of Cups, but I would miss out on the Fae layer of the deck because I kind of feel like I still need to be more familiar with the word. And what I mean by it is I need to read more stories with Fae energy that I really like. But I need to find a way to, I think what I'm thinking about doing, and I know it's annoying, I'm not finishing any sentences, but I need to find a way to work with the whole deck more than just individual cards. Look at that, the Ten of Wands is a child between the two. Isn't it interesting? And what I'm thinking about is setting aside an afternoon on a weekend when I have time and look for really huge spreads with like 14 or 15 or 20 cards, and not take it as seriously as to sit down and record make notes about every position and every card, but maybe just record a video for myself about reading that spread. So I have some, you know, memento of it. So if I want to, I can go back and look at it. But to see the cards interact with each other more. I think with this deck, it's more important to find, because you know, we have creatures, we have people in them more so than just, I don't even know if there's a card where a person is not featured. So the Fae element, not human, but you know, the beings, the energy of them is the most prominent thing in the card, but you can only experience them fully if you see them in context of each other. Their interaction with each other is I think it's the way to understanding to understand the deck and to connect with the energy. But can I get the other ace? Now I'm gonna, you know, look for the other ace because I have issues. But so yeah, I think understanding this deck is not how I usually you know, understand the deck, is just use it, so to speak, just use it in readings and see combination of cards. It's more so about seeing how certain suits, certain elements, certain court cards, and the major arcana just fell into this one big world of Fae that this deck creates. And I think I can, I'm kind of I'm kind of noticing a theme. Oh, look at the dotted line. Oh, what the deck agrees. That's what I'm trying to say with these cards. I'm noticing a theme with how I look at decks and what I appreciate in decks and what I look for in decks. And that is that I really like when they are set or play out in one physical space, in a sense that, like Fae, it's a forest, you know, where Fae lives. It's their world, but it's one more condensed space than just archetypes, you know, who are existing just to exist and just to teach us things. Like in the original deck, you know, like the Emperor sits on a throne, yes, but it doesn't really connect with the image of the lovers, for example. But here the lovers are, you know, they are still in the forest and everyone is and part of it in that area, let alone let it be the mountain somewhere, or you know, on the field, or but it's still, I can still imagine that it's the same. I'm not saying it's actually like that, but I can imagine that it's the same. Kiro Knightley, same place, like, you know, the bird. She is still mother, like she's Mother Nature. She's part of everything. She's not outside of it, but she's encompassing it, if this makes any sense. It does, because that's my divine connection card, so it makes sense for me. It doesn't have to make sense to you. But yeah, so it opened this deck, and working with it for a month opened me up to study and learn and get to know a deck in a different way than I'm usually approaching this question. So for me, that was already a really cool experience. But yeah, I definitely, like I said, need to work with it for longer. Maybe next summer. I'm thinking about including this one in next summer or pulling it out again because I'm gonna switch up the 12 decks for 12 month system starting from December. So there's gonna be some overlap. But what I want to do is how I do my yearly reading is, I pull a card for each Sabbath, and now I'm thinking I'm gonna pull a deck for each Sabbath. And I'm not necessarily gonna set them, beforehand. I'm just gonna be like, okay, which one is the one that I'm gonna work for the next two and a half or something like that month, or 1 month, something like that, longer than a month. Because the calendar months in this sense doesn't make any sense. The natural rhythm of nature makes much more sense to study a deck as well. Am I right? Getting that strategy? Yes, please. So yeah, you can see we're connecting with the deck. We just need more time to spend with each other. But maybe that afternoon is gonna be enough. We will see. We will see. But yeah, hope this is useful. Do you ever found a deck that taught you how to connect with other decks differently or approach deck study in general differently? I'm curious, and how was it, and what did you learn? If you don't mind, like sharing it in the comments. But yeah, this was my month with the Hidden Realm, and hope, as per usual, this is useful in some way. But thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!